Today we're making chicken with asparagus, garlic and lemon. Now, this is a very straightforward, simple dinner. All you really need for it is one pot and a handful of ingredients. But don't be fooled, it's absolutely delicious and it's a perfect kind of meal for a midweek where you haven't got a lot of time or energy and you want to put something quick together, but it's absolutely delicious. This is an absolute banger of a dish. So let's not hang about, let's get cooking. Okay, so what I've got here are 4 chicken thighs with the bone in. Now, if you don't want chicken thighs, you can use chicken breast for this recipe as well. I personally prefer chicken thighs. I think the meat has far better flavour and it's a more tender meat as well, a bit more juicier. But if you prefer breast, that's absolutely fine. But I've got 4 chicken thighs here with the skin on. And what we're going to do is we're going to start just by seasoning the thighs with salt on one side. There we go. And then a bit of cracked black pepper. There we go. And then all we're going to do is just turn them around. Just wipe the board with the thighs so we collect up all that salt and pepper. We don't waste any. There we go. And we're going to do exactly the same to the other side. Got some more salt there. Okay, so once our chicken has been seasoned, what we're going to do now is we're going to pop it here into this pot, the pan here. And the pan at the moment is cold. I haven't got heat on it or anything. We're going to put the chicken in cold, skin side down. Okay, there we go. And once the chicken's in the pan, skin side down, we're going to turn it on and put it up to a medium to high heat. Okay, and that will slowly come up to temperature and it will start rendering the skin. At this stage, you don't need to put anything into the pan at the moment, no oil, no butter. We're just going to use the fat on the chicken itself to render that down, and that's going to lubricate the chicken. And once the chicken is nice and brown on one side, we're going to turn it over. Right, so while our chicken is rendering in the pot, what we're going to do is actually move on to our potatoes. So I've got some really nice baby potatoes here, British baby potatoes, and all we're going to do is going to cut them into quarters, like that. Okay, and this is an all-in-one dish. We're not going to use separate pots and pans for anything. Everything's going to be cooked in the one pot. So the other advantage of this dish is there's minimal washing up, which is always a good thing. So cut all these into quarters. Now when you're choosing potatoes for this kind of dish, you can use obviously baby potatoes like I'm using here. But you don't have to, you can use other potatoes, but make sure whatever potato you're using is kind of more of a waxy potato, not really a fluffy. So like something like a Maris Piper or a King Edward is not really suitable for this. That's better for like roasts and mash and things. But you want to use something a bit more waxy. So I'm using these baby potatoes, which are absolutely perfect. Okay, so we've got those cut in quarters, and all we're going to do now is put them into a little bowl. Okay, and then we're just going to season them up, same as the chicken. So that was some salt. Okay, and then some black pepper. There we go. And then we're just going to add in just a drop of olive oil, about a tablespoon. There we go. And at this stage, all we're going to do is get our hands in there and give that a good little mix around. There we go. So these are all nicely coated with salt, pepper and olive oil. Perfect. And now in the meantime, we can also check on our chicken, see how that's doing. Let's have a look. Oh, that's perfect. So that's, if you look at that chicken, that skin has rendered absolutely beautifully. It's got a really nice golden brown colour on it. So we're going to turn all these around. There we go. I'm going to do the other side. Okay, I'm going to drop the heat ever so slightly. So we're just going to render that side. Now, as we're rendering that second side there, we're just going to drop our potatoes in here. We want to add a bit of colour to these as well. So any places where you've got any gaps, we're just going to add in our potatoes. Okay, so now we've got our potatoes in the pot and they're starting to brown slightly. What we're going to do is we're going to grab a few sprigs of thyme and we're just going to scatter them all around like that. Okay, so our chicken and potatoes have been cooking in the pot for a few minutes now. And what we're going to do is just pop a lid on it like that. And I'm just going to transfer these to an oven which I've had preheating about 180 degrees. And we're going to put them in there for about 45 to 50 minutes. So let's open that oven up. Pop it in there. There we go. Close that and we'll come back to that in about 45-50 minutes. Okay, so the chicken has now been cooking for about 45 minutes. So we're going to take it out of the oven. Just pop it there and take off the lid. Okay, so everything is now fully cooked. If we pop a knife into our potatoes here, because it runs nice and these are cooked. Potatoes are lovely and soft and fully cooked now. So what we're going to do is to finish the dish off, we're going to make our sauce and cook our asparagus. So in order to do that, we're going to transfer our chicken and potatoes to a bowl and keep them warm to one side. So we're just going to lift our chicken, pop it into a bowl here. And we're going to do the same with the potatoes. We're going to lift the potatoes out. If you can see on the back side of the potatoes, you've got a nice caramelization here on the back of the potatoes. So that's what we're looking for. They're nice and soft and caramelized underneath. So I'm just going to pop the potatoes into the bowl as well. Okay, so we've put our chicken into a bowl and into the oven just to keep that warm. It's also nice and warm. So we're now going to basically just finish off the dish by prepping our sauce and our asparagus. So the first thing we want to do is take one shallot. If you haven't got a shallot, you can use an onion as well. Shallot's got a bit of a milder flavour, but if you haven't got a shallot, you can use an onion. So we're going to take one shallot here, and cut it in half, and we're just going to basically give that a really nice fine dice. Okay, and dice it as finely as you can. Okay, now what we're going to do is just going to light a little medium heat under the pot. We shouldn't need to add any kind of oil or anything. If you look in the pot here, there's plenty of kind of chicken fat which is rendered from the skin. So we don't need to add any extra oil or anything to that. So we can just take our shallot, let's pop that in there and just wait for that to come up to temperature. And if you look at the bottom of the pot here, all this kind of really nice, lovely dark brown stuff that's stuck to the bottom, this is all flavour. So this is all from the chicken and the potatoes, and it's all filled with flavour. The French call it fond, but basically all this does is it gives flavour to this. We don't want to get rid of any of this. We're going to incorporate this into our sauce because it is jam-packed full of flavour. So we're just going to mix that around and just let that come up to temperature. Now, while that is coming up to temperature, we're going to do our next ingredient, which is garlic. So I've got a few cloves of garlic here. I'm just going to lightly crush and then finely chop each one. Okay, so now that we've chopped all of our garlic, we're going to just put that straight into the pan as well and just cook that for about a minute along with the shallot. Give that a good mix. Okay, now the amount of garlic you put into the dish is really up to you. If you like me, if you love garlic, then you can put obviously more in. I'll put in about 6 cloves there. If you're not a huge fan, but don't mind a garlic flavour, then you can just put in 1, maybe 2 cloves. I've got about 5 or 6 here because I absolutely love garlic. Okay, so the garlic's been cooking for about 2 minutes, starting to soften, which is just what we want. So now at this stage, what we're going to do before we add anything else, we're just going to pick out the thyme. Let's take that there. We don't want any thyme stalks left in the sauce. Okay, there we go. So that's all the stalks out now. Okay, so the next stage now is we're going to add about a large glass of white wine. Okay, this is going to help us obviously to add flavour, and it's also going to help to deglaze the pan, so get all that lovely fond off the pan and into our sauce. And we're just going to reduce this down to it's about a third of its original volume. Okay, so our wine has now reduced to about a third of its original volume. You can see it's a lot less liquid in this now, much more concentrated. So what we're now going to do is add in some chicken stock. So I've got a cup of chicken stock here. We're going to add that. And again, we're going to reduce that down till it's about a third of its original volume. Really kind of concentrate that flavour. Okay, so our chicken stock is now nearly reduced to the where we want it. It's probably just about halfway at the moment. So what we're going to do before we kind of finish reducing it is actually we're going to cook our asparagus in the sauce at the moment, the mixture at the moment. So rather than boiling it separately, we're just going to do it in the pot. So I've got some asparagus here. I'm just going to cut off here the tips here. There we go. And then what we're going to do is just going to add them to our sauce there. And we're just going to cook these with the lid on for about 3 or 4 minutes, and by that time the sauce itself will have reduced to the right consistency and the asparagus will be cooked. Okay, so our asparagus has been cooking for about 3 minutes now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lid off and I'm just going to pull that out. Now it's not fully cooked yet, it's kind of almost there, but what we're going to do is we're going to take it out now and set it to one side and just keep it warm, and by the time the sauce is ready then the asparagus will be fully cooked through, because the residual heat will keep on cooking it, and that way we won't overcook it. Okay, so as you can see, our sauce has reached the perfect consistency now. It's about a third of its original volume. You can see there, it's kind of thickening up slightly as well. So as I pull the spatula across the pot, you can see it kind of leaving a little trace there. That's exactly what you want at this stage. And now what we're going to do is add in our next ingredient, which is some double cream. So I've got about half a cup of double cream here. You can add crème fraîche as well, absolutely fine to add crème fraîche. I wouldn't recommend single cream, but double or cream or crème fraîche is absolutely fine. So we're going to add that in and just give that a good little mix around. Okay, that is nearly there. Okay, so at this stage now what we're going to do is just take a teaspoon here and just check the seasoning. Make sure that's okay. Okay, yeah, probably use a little bit more salt in there. And just a touch of pepper. Okay, and then just to finish off, we're going to do a squeeze, just a little squeeze of fresh lemon. Not too much, just enough to kind of cut through the acidity, cut through the fat. And we'll give it a lovely balance. Okay, and that's the sauce finished. It's time to plate up. Okay, so to plate up, I'm just going to take a couple of pieces of the chicken. There we go. Something like that. And I'm going to add a few of the potatoes. Different sizes, giving different textures. I'm going to add lovely caramelization on those potatoes. And then I'm just going to finish off with a little bit of asparagus. And then finally, we're just going to spoon on our sauce. Right, as they say, the proof of the pudding is in the tasting. So let's taste. Right, let's try and take a little bit of everything. It's got a bit of chicken there. I'll take some of the potato on the asparagus. Okay, here goes. Oh, that's really good. So good. Beautiful flavours all around. The earthiness of the potatoes, the asparagus, lovely kind of contrasting sharpness from the sauce, and beautiful chicken. Absolutely sensational. Cheers. Well, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's recipe. Have a go at home yourselves and let me know how you get on. Please click the like button below, that really helps the channel out. And don't forget to subscribe so you can keep coming back for more recipes that cook to perfection. I'll see you next time.